Here in the Department of Technology, we are very lucky where we get state-of-the-art technology from 3D printing, machining, robots, and things like woodworking like the ShopBot. Jim Evans is here and is an employee in the IT department at Illinois State University. He's very knowledgeable when it comes to technology and things like computers and programming, a lot of the things that we use every day here in Turner Hall. As I said before, we are very lucky to be able to have the technology that we have in this building. Jim has been working in the field for a very long time now and would like to share some of his experience as he sets up a lot of our equipment here in Turner Hall, and a lot of it goes unnoticed, and I've noticed this before because I would see Jim all the time, just everywhere, trying to set up computers, the robots in the machine lab, the robotics lab, and well, here's Jim's side of what he believes is his technology literacy here at Illinois State University.
Describe what you do on a daily basis on a typical day for you.
Well, typical day, I usually start out checking the labs, making sure everything looks like it's all right. I check the printers, check the servers. Usually check upstairs to see how the staff are doing. And there really isn't a typical day after that. Which is kind of a nice thing about this job. You work on projects and you work on problems. You check to see if you have any tickets that you need to work on. And we work on, we have a Mac lab over in Nelson Smith, which is kind of an interesting aspect to my job because there aren't that many Mac labs, at least not in CAST.
Yeah, and a whole different operating system too.
It's a whole different operating system. The other labs, they're all Windows based, but they're all different. We have a robotics lab and the telecommunications lab just on the other side of the room here. That's completely different from anything else that we have because of the routers and switches. Tech ed.
Yeah, definitely.
Construction. They have those big touchscreen tablets. I have to make it all work. And that's really a neat thing about this job, is having all these different technical areas that really, we've got labs that can't be found anywhere else on campus.
And the aspect of literacy, how is that characterized within your discipline?
Well, probably a student that is looking to get out in the job market is going to want to have good overall technical knowledge of computers and networking, but they'll probably specialize in a certain area. So in terms of literacy, just being good at figuring out problems, even.
Here, because it says, right, it says it doesn't work.
You know, technology is such a broad area.
Yeah, it really is.
It goes, I'm thinking in terms of computers right now, but really just some of the examples that we talked about in the lab go way beyond that. The robotics lab doesn't just have robots, it's got networking, PLCs, and a lot of other stuff, coordinate measuring equipment.
So, are there necessary skills that you need to be literate with your discipline that may differ from a traditional definition of literacy?
Well, yeah, I guess. Let's see, I'm trying to think how to answer that. Literacy, for instance, if you were a student in the School of Information Technology, literacy would be in terms of programming, but it could also be in terms of data security and all kinds of other things. I guess what I'm saying is that this technology is so broad that nobody is going to be literate in all of it. You're going to find your niche and grow in it. With us, we use computer technology to drive other technologies, and so there's a huge overlap there.
Yeah, definitely.
In fact, as I'm sitting here right now, I'm seeing some students from interior design, which is not even in our department, and they're doing things with Revit and Photoshop.
Are there specific cultural components attached to literacies within your discipline?
Repeat that.
Are there specific cultural components attached to the literacies within your discipline staff?
I see. I look at it, I'm really not, the cultural component really doesn't affect me
Yeah,
much.
that's especially in technology.
What I'm more concerned about is how I relate to each user. Some users are not very technical, and so if you're trying to help them, you need to get down to their level, but it also has to be a level where you can address the problem.
I'm trying to convince myself here. No one really knows.
There are other students or faculty who are very literate. In fact, some of them are beyond where I'm at in their areas. And so, as you address them, you can address them a little bit differently.
Yeah, and there's some.
It's actually, for me, it's harder to address students or faculty that are not very literate, because I need to think more about how I'm answering their question and how I can help them.
Are there literacy skills that entry-level members of your field have to learn anew?
The first thing that comes to mind, the literacy or the skills that you learn today are the skills that you need, that you're going to apply to get a job. But you're going to need to constantly be learning new skills.
Yeah, especially
and expanding your literacy in possibly areas that you haven't learned in college. And that's the nature of technology.
As you see here, Jim is a man behind the scenes that not too many people get to know and see, but Jim is always hardworking from what I've seen him being here as a student for the past 3 years. Jim finally now gets his spotlight here in his interview over technology and literacy in his field. As you've seen in this video, here in Turner Hall we are exposed to many different types of technology, and we are very fortunate of what we get to work with each and every day. Here today you have seen different parts of technology that not everybody gets to see every day. Most people, when they think of technology, they think of computers and anything that does with computer repair. But here at Turner Hall, technology goes beyond that. We do things with pneumatics, robots, woodworking, machining, IT, graphic communications, printing. Turner Hall and Nelson Smith do it all, and we are very fortunate here in the Department of Technology with all of the different literacies that we are exposed to each and every day. I want to give Jim a special thanks for everything he does for us and everything he does each and every day for us to be able to gain more technology literacy here as students and some of us as future educators. Jim, without you, there'd be a lot of things that wouldn't be running, and honestly, you're always the go-to person, and I'm very happy that I got to sit down with you and be able to get your point of view of what you believe is technology literacy.